money.
Yeah. I could do that, John.
They're on YouTube. Very nice. And send me that too. I'll send you that. Just Google YouTube.
Pretty much meeting to order, pledge of allegiance.
Ready, begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we pray to stay for your ever-enduring guidance. We ask you to cloak us in wisdom and fortitude, that we may dispense our knowledge and facts intelligently among all humanity of whom we serve. Amen. Announcement items discussed in closed session.
Members, we've been in closed session on the Dyer Mountain case, one matter of potential litigation and the sale of the Hartlawn property. The board provided direction to staff. There were no reportable actions.
Agenda approval, additions and or deletions.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask that we adjourn our meeting today in memory of two individuals, Dina Tutsi, who passed away recently, and I just saw in the paper this morning that James Pearson, Sandra Pearson, has passed away also. So yes.
Anything else? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Have it. Public comment? Anybody from the public wish to comment? Ms. Spencer?
This is more of a announcement than a comment, Bob, but County Health is now offering free audios of your meetings in hopes that your meeting minutes will eventually be more accurate, but we are now distributing the audio discs free to anybody that wants them.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to address the board? Seeing none, we'll move on. Unagendized reports by board members. Start off with Jim.
Mr. Chairman, last Saturday we had an opportunity to install 15 new banners, blue-star banners on Main Street with blue-star moms and Homer Line. So this program is still going along, and because of that, we've already received a couple more people requests for banners, starting another group. And hopefully by sometime after the first of the year, that will be taking place.
Aaron?
Yeah, a couple of things, in the transportation meeting yesterday, along with Mr. Chapman. It was a good meeting, we got some good stuff done there, I think. I want to really take time to thank all the department heads doing the budget this last week. I appreciate everything that they did as far as getting their budget ready, prepared to us, and articulating their points of view. It was a good education for me. I think I got a lot out of it. Most everybody else did too. There's a couple other things I'd like to just briefly mention about is we're up there in the north end of the county. You know, we're still without the ambulance, and I attended the high school football game the other night. One of the players got injured, and normally in a high school game you got an ambulance on standby there. Well, we don't have an ambulance there, so the player got hurt and they had to delay the game, and everybody had to sit around for probably, I don't know what it was probably 40 minutes of a game delay while we had to wait for an ambulance to be called and to get up there from Fall River and take care of the kid and haul him off before we could resume the game. So it's just an issue we need to keep being aware of. I mean, we're spending $200,000 a year for 15 years for a swimming pool, but yet we don't have an ambulance in that end of the county. So anyway, so I would like to keep pushing along to work with Sensor or something else so we get an ambulance service up there at the other end of the county. And then the other question I had was, where are we at with, are we still moving forward with the MOU as far as like the fire state council and as far as getting everybody together? Remember how that MOU expired?
We haven't, been involved in all the budget decisions. There hasn't really been any progress on it, but it's still part of our work.
Larry?
That's it.
No county business, I've been looking forward to this weekend. We have one of our really biggest events, that we do at the track, and hopefully it gives a good hit to the local economy. It's one of the rounds of the World Off-Road Championship Series, and they normally get about 800 participants, so it's 2 wheels and 4 wheels. And hopefully the community gets a good little economic bump from it, and looking forward to showcasing like it's a real class act event. Excited for that. Thanks.
Marty, can you get together with OES and NorCal, whoever sends us whatever we need to, and bring us an update on where we're headed on the ambulance service to North County?
Yes.
We need it.
We had a meeting, with, about a month ago or so, I think. We were there about a kind of a volunteer type of operation up there, so I'll follow up with them.
I just want to make sure it don't fall through the cracks. I mean,
You have to.
find out and give us an update. Thank you. Speaking out. Okay, we'll move on then to F1, County Service Area Number 1. We're convening County Service Area Number 1. Lake TV. Are you Dan?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'm here to answer any questions you have in your packet to report for the past previous fiscal year of operating the county service area. If you have any questions, as you notice over here to your right is a map that we put up here showing, indicating the signal strength of the television signals in the area. That's from an independent website that they obtained information through the FCC. And so we thought we'd give you an indication of where the signal is at. The strength is strongest in the darker green. As it fans further out towards the red and the purples, it gets weaker and weaker out in those areas.
Questions, Dan?
Well, I'm kind of naive to this, Dan. I hope you can appreciate that. I don't, now these stations, these come out of where?
The various stations, they come out of Sacramento for Channel 3, and we're also working on a, what's the other one? Channel 31, which is KMAX out of Sacramento, the CW channel. Those are relatively new. We just recently worked with the Standish Litchfield Fire Department with a building they had in Standish right next to the road department there that we're utilizing as our hub now, as our vault, to be able to provide a stronger signal to Black Mountain. Basically what we're doing is we're capturing everything down there at the Standish vault. We're sending it up to Black Mountain, so we're able to cover the backside of Bass Hill, where before they weren't able to get the signal. And so we've expanded that service area by sending the signal to Black Mountain and retransmitting it back into the Janesville area, so they basically are looking at the Black Mountain signal on the Bass Hill side. So they're able to get a stronger signal there. We're also looking at expanding additional, about up to 4 more channels this year, with what we currently have in place with the licensing that we have. The digital signals are such that we can basically take one signal and transmit several more stations out of that one signal that we've received because of the digital capacities. So we're able to provide a lot more signals than we've had in the past. We're seeing a lot of interest from folks that are trying to sign up for the service. However, we're seeing a dramatic decline of the services, and we're trying to basically tread water. Fortunately, the past several years we were able to get grants to do the digital transition, which has helped us backfill the budget, but we're seeing such a loss in revenue from the user fees that we don't think that we're going to be able to operate next year without having additional, income for that thing.
What is your user fees?
User fees are $25 a year per parcel. However, an individual can get off of the fee by simply stating to the assessor that they no longer use the service. There's no requirement of any documentation or anything that they're using alternative services such as Dish Network or, you know, any of the satellite stations. It's just simply saying, I don't use it, so they get be taken off.
But then they can still put up an antenna and get it.
And they can still, yeah. And even the ones who say they aren't using it, we're pretty sure they still are. There's no way to prove it. You know, there's no way to, the signals are getting, I mean, the antennas are getting smaller nowadays because of the digital signal. You don't need a large antenna on your rooftop any longer. So it's even harder to tell if they're using the service. So unless, you know, short of going in their homes and checking what they're doing, you're not gonna be able to do that, of course. But
Any more questions for Dan?
I just want to comment that TV did pick up a new user who is signed up with the assessor to get his $25 assessment, and that's me. And I did have an antenna installed late last year, and when all the other program went off of the issue, whatever fails, and from time to time it does, the signal coming off of Schaefer Mountain is incredible. We had the demonstration here in the boardroom, and I gotta say that those people who are looking for an affordable TV option should strongly look at what is available through Honey Lake TV for $25 a year. You know, I think it's time to go. You wanna, a lot of stuff is now coming through. You can live stream it through Netflix or Amazon Prime and stuff. And I think cable and dishes, those and DirecTV, those type of satellite TVs, you know, have some, you know, they're very expensive. And when you talk about the money being spent per year, so I'm really happy to see recently, and I just occasionally change over. Now that Channel 3 out of Sacramento is available, that makes it more desirable to even want to watch, because we have no California stations otherwise. And I appreciate the work that Honey Lake TV is trying to do. It's, and hopefully, I think the one area where they have a need is they need to kind of partner with somebody, because a lot of folks I talk to, and you know, they would like to do it, but how do you, you know, unless they have the technical skills, and who does, or hooking up the antenna and making sure you have all the right components and stuff. So I think there's a niche there. Somebody wanted to, as an entrepreneur, wanted to get into the businesses, use both Dish and Direct, use companies or individuals that go around and install, because the average person doesn't install that either. And so I think if Honey Lake TV can figure out that component, you may find a lot of folks out there willing to maybe abandon any one of the other vendors in favor of going with. And the program list you have, and the guidance in here, you get 1080p quality on several of the stations and 720 for most of the stations. And you know, on a little flat screen TV, it's spectacular.
yeah, pretty inexpensive entertainment for $25 a year.
Yeah.
You know.
Jane, you had a question?
Do you advertise what you provide?
Yes, we do. We have a website,
Okay,
honeylaketv.com, and we also advertise in the newspaper.
okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Any more questions from the board or the public and staff?
Is it possible to get a resolution or something, I don't know, something where somebody has to go into the assessor to get off the tax roll, they have to just bring in a copy of their.
Well, I think the county has an ordinance already in place. I don't even know exactly what that number is, but I think it needs to be looked at again, because it is rather vague as far as how easy it is to get off of it. We recently looked at it at our last meeting, and we did realize that there's no teeth in it really to make sure that the person actually has to produce something that says that a current receipt of some of the service they're using would be at least a minimum, I would think.
Well, back when it was originally set up, Mr. Chairman, I think it was around 1980 when County Service Area 1 was established. And at that time, it was strictly a voluntary program. And the way it was, the approach that was taken is everybody was automatically, all parcels were automatically put onto the roll to receive the $25 fee. But there was the proviso that any property owner could come in, and it's just a simple form they sign basically under penalty of perjury. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people who do not watch TV. They don't even want a TV in their house. They didn't want to raise their kids with TV. And all they had to do is say that they're not having, whether it's cable, or if they have a satellite, or if they have no TV, or if they desire. That's all it takes to remove themselves that assessment. Now, the issue is, and I'm not sure what the process is with the assessor's office, and I think this is one of the areas that needs to be explored, is that over time, the people who maybe lived in that house at that time did that, but when the house transfers to somebody else, you know, me moving in, whether it's a renter or, you know, what sort of means do you have to ongoing to verify that? I mean, and that's where I think maybe there is some vagueness there, but that's the process. It was strictly a voluntary assessment, and they had to be proactive to have it removed. It wasn't something where you had to go sign up to get it added on. I mean, when it came out, I was a cable customer. I was a cable customer for over 40 years. And I went in and I checked the box and said I received cable, and the assessment was removed from my parcel. Even though I have Dish, have a satellite service, I went in and actually requested that be added back in my parcel, because I want to support them with the assessment. But very few people probably do that.
We've actually found that, I think it was in 2011 when the board did not adopt the user fee, that there's several people who are not getting reassessed now. And one of them happens to be one of our board members. She says, it's not on my tax rolls. She called the treasurer's office about it, and she was told to appreciate it, you're not getting charged this year, you know, but she hasn't gotten even back on it yet, you know, because they haven't put it on her tax roll.
Well, I think she needs to go into the assessor's office and advise them that.
She's called, and she's, that was what she was told.
Well.
Consider yourself fortunate. You know, so.
Okay. I mean, to me, it seems kind of, I've heard good things, you know, about the value and all that, but I mean, the fact to automatically be getting charged for something on your tax, and then have to take time out of your own busy private life to go have it removed, I mean.
You don't have to go up there, they send it to you, it came in the mail and they signed the form and it mailed right back, so.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it's like, you know, you automatically got assessed like a Dish Network bill until you sign something in and say you don't have it, I mean.
Right.
I don't know, I mean, you know, obviously, it's in this day and age of technology, it should be something that you have to subscribe to, otherwise you don't get the signal. I realize that's probably not feasible, so.
Yeah, the way it's set up currently is it's all assessed by the assessor's office, then it's put on by the tax roll, and the treasurer collects the fees. However, I don't think that Honey Lake TV doesn't have the staff or the ability to be able to collect fees for that service. So basically what we're doing is running the service for the CSA1.
Does it show on the bill, like, actually, does it say Honey Lake?
On the tax bill, yes, it does say user fees on it.
Yeah, it's like.
County Service Area 1, I think.
A school bond or anything else, it's a line item on there that specifically, and if somebody questions that, then they can sign the form and be off. It takes 30 seconds, but now the prisons, I know when at the time when we had, back in 1980, when the crisis that created CSA1, you know, was the fact that the old translator service was ready to go out of business, and that managed this translator service, and the prison was using the signal, and they paid, I think they paid this like a lump sum that was like.
Yeah, they pay $6,100 a year for both prisons, actually.
For both prisons.
My understanding.
$1,600 each?
No,
Total.
total.
Okay, because I know,
Unless I'm, you know, I don't know if Richard can help me with that, but I'm not sure exactly how that, if it's 61. What I was like seeing in the budget, so it's $6,100 total.
I know that they were probably the biggest single user, and they came unglued because they were expecting prison riots at CCC, because at that time there was only one prison, because if there was no TV, you know, they would all they use, I guess, to occupy the inmates' time part of the time. There was a concern about not having, you know, a signal.
I think, any more on your report, then?
No, that's all.
Mr. Chairman.
Next, at our meeting on the 17th, Honey Lake will be back on the agenda, adoption of their budget, so that the fee on the tax roll will be there, but there's also going to be discussion of the business relationship between Honey Lake and the county. I think everybody understands Honey Lake TV is a nonprofit corporation, the CSA is a separate entity that actually just collects the fee. And the issue of what is the business relationship between the county and Honey Lake TV and who's ultimately responsible should they not have enough money to operate will be on next week's agenda.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Now, Mr. Chapman, you will be here, is that okay? I mean, we could conceivably put part of that conversation over the 24th when you could be here.
Well, they need to have that action taken next week and.
On budget they do,
Yeah,
yes.
Right, so I don't wanna see that be delayed, and I'm comfortable with the way my guys have worked out well.
We're working on a, quite frankly, the contract that has been submitted to us is not acceptable to the Honey Lake TV Corporation, so we're working on revising that, sending an alternative contract for review from administration, which is ready to be sent over there, so we'll send it over today and, get their review of it.
All right, thank you, Dan.
All right, thank you.
So we will adjourn as CSA number 1 and reconvene as Board of Supervisors, take up the information consent calendar. Any issues on there you want to be taken off individually? If not, we have a motion to approve.
I'd make a motion to approve.
We have a second. Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no, the ayes have it. Okay, we'll go on to H1, Supervisor Walters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a letter to our forest supervisor that kind of encompasses what was discussed, at our coordination council. The meeting with, that these things were discussed is the one I was on in the eastern part of the United States, and I missed, but I think you did attend it. And it's just a follow-up on there, and as it states, that Jerry Bird will be coming to the coordination council meeting on Monday, the 16th of September, to talk about these, and it's just kind of a good tidies up and neatens up the things that were discussed, and kind of asks some specifics about time frame, to give some suggestions, and also importantly, it does attach a list of some actions that we took as a board last year, passing an ordinance on some of the other roads throughout the county that are open to OHV use, because it was mentioned, I think at that meeting, that some of these, the issue was if it's classified as a highway, the reason why to close it to OHV, but actually, we passed something that says otherwise, and it gives a list of all those roads, and, basically just sending off a letter to Jerry.
Okay. Any questions on the letter? From the public, anybody got any questions on it? You guys got a copy of the letter? Come on up and state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Don Hanson, and I'm a member of the Lassen Coordination Council. The letter that Supervisor Wassick talked about, we discussed in our meeting last week, and these are all a bunch of issues that we brought up in our discussion with Jerry last week when he made his report and had our discussion on the travel management plan. These were all listed here, I think, in a logical order, and they're real issues that we need to discuss with the Forest Service in pertaining to the travel management plan. And we as a council would really encourage the board to sign this letter and send it on to the supervisor.
Okay, thank you, Don. Anybody else wish to comment? Seeing none, we have a motion. Oh, Aaron?
Larry, you got your list of roads here, in Road District 4 in Beaver, you have the Cloken Center Road. Even though that's in Lassen County, isn't that under the MODOC jurisdiction?
That'd be probably a question for Larry Millar. He worked with CHP and the folks from Sacramento, the OHV, to compile this list. And so,
could, that was the ordinance that was adopted back in 2011, is the source of that. And actually, Lassen County has 3 national forests that function within its jurisdiction.
Right.
The Modoc, the Lassen, and the Columbus. So these roads are floating wide, so depending upon which forest they're in, it would apply to that forest. So this would be not something that would be going to Jerry Bird to worry about, because Pumpkin Center Road is not in the Lassen National Forest. So the supervisor in the MoDOC would, just basically was put in place so that he would know that's the county position on this road. So depending upon where these roads fall within the 3 national forests would determine which one of the forest supervisors would be responsible for responding to the county's request.
Oh, okay.
Any more questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Jim second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no.
I just
Ayes
want
have
to
it.
say thank you to Larry and the coordinating council for putting this together. Very well done.
Thank you guys for your help, Don.
Yeah, I'd like to say, yeah, I mean, the council and the, you know, people and the come and Dawn and the crew and Liz Norton's been a big help with putting the information together. I mean, they do, Laura, I mean, everybody, they just do a tremendous amount of work and have really been dedicated to helping. And we all know, you know, it doesn't move at warp speed, but it's moving. And I think we've made, you know, big steps. We all like to see things move quickly, but this is moving, and it's continually moving, and I think we've made good progress, and I think we're gonna continue to make good progress, and eventually, I think the community is gonna reap the rewards of our labors. So it's one of the things I've been involved in that I'm really, you know, pleased to be part of, and thanks, you know, for all your input and help, and I think it's been a good thing all in all, so thank you for all your efforts.
Okay. We'll move on then to H2, proclamation for Recovery Month.
Mr. Chairman, board members, good. A lot of excitement going on, right?
A lot of excitement.
I'm here this morning to ask you to approve a proclamation declaring September 2013 as Recovery Month here in Lassen County. Mental illness and substance use disorders and all sorts of addictions affect communities all across the country, and ours is no exception, that's for sure. With commitment and support, people with these disorders can achieve healthy lifestyles and go on to lead productive lives in